There was a time I almost completely gave up on the Erhu. After 10 years of playing, I just felt stuck, uninspired, and quite honestly, done. But what brought me back changed everything for me, not only as a musician, but as a person. So if you've ever felt like giving up on your craft, this story's for you. I started learning the Erhu because my mom thought it would be a good way to connect me to my cultural roots as a Canadian-born Chinese. She's a piano teacher, so music has always been a part of my household, and she knew I had a passion for it. So when she introduced me to Mr. Yang Zhongcai, my Erhu teacher, learning the Erhu just seemed like a natural step, connecting my love for music to my cultural roots. So when I first started learning, what really drove me at first was competition. So maybe it's the Aries in me, but I just loved winning. So naturally, every single year, I would enter the Kiwanis Music Festival, and here's the truth. I barely practiced. I would maybe practice a little bit before the competition, but up until maybe level 6, probably up until level 7, I just showed up, played, and somehow I'd get first place. So there was always this little voice in my head that said, if I'm already the best, what's the point of putting in more work? I know it's a pretty big ego type of thing. It's not a good attitude. Yeah, my mom didn't like my attitude. She wasn't thrilled about it at all. I can honestly still remember her yelling, "You didn't practice all week. You have lessons the next day. Like, do you think we're just donating money to your Erhu teacher, you know?" Yeah, I laugh about it now, but yeah, I genuinely thought that I was unbeatable. Now, things started to change when I joined the Canada YC Chinese Music Orchestra, founded by my Erhu teacher. I still remember that there were students playing songs like 战马奔腾, and at the time I just thought, wow, that's crazy fast, and I wish I could play that. Suddenly, I wasn't the best anymore. But the real turning point happened during my level 8 competition. I still remember I met this guy who was competing against me, and I thought to myself, okay, I got this, I'm gonna get first place again. But yeah, once he started playing, I noticed that, okay, he's clearly better than me. So naturally, he got first, I placed second, and that hurt. Yeah, it was my first feeling of not being the best at Erhu, at least when competing against my peers of the same level. But then the competitive side in me kicked in and was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna work hard and beat him next year. So for the first time, I started practicing seriously. The next year, I came back stronger, and I placed first place in the level 10 Kiwanis Music Festival with 98.1%. So that win felt amazing, but it also made my ego skyrocket, just like next level, you know? So after winning, I just thought, well, I've proven that I'm the best, since level 10 was actually the highest level that you could test for Erhu at the time. So if I've proven that I'm the best, what else is there for me? And that's the mindset that really started to hold me back. As the years went by, I just naturally felt more and more disconnected from the orchestra. Most of my orchestra friends that I've grown really close to since a young age were all leaving for university, and I was kind of like one of the last OGs of the original Erhu section. And the new group was a lot younger and a lot less experienced, so I had the sense of superiority over them. I felt I was too good for them. Rehearsals, they just felt repetitive, and the material was never challenging anymore, so eventually I just stopped going to rehearsals altogether. I told myself that I needed to focus on school because that's what all my other friends were doing, right? Yeah, but quite honestly, I just really didn't care anymore. I didn't see a reason for me to keep practicing or continue attending orchestra because all my friends are gone. I've already proven I'm the best. What else is there for me? It's probably the right time for me to move on to the next chapter of my life. And so by the time I graduated university, I had pretty much stopped playing the Erhu altogether, other than teaching. And so naturally after university, just like many other post-grads, I shifted my focus towards getting a stable career. I even took the LSATs and got into law school. But deep down, I knew that that wasn't what I really wanted. I was lost. I started a YouTube channel, but since I didn't play Erhu for so long, I wasn't really confident in my skills anymore. I actually made a cooking channel first. And so one day I heard this song on the radio and I was like, you know what, that song would sound pretty good on the Erhu. So I recorded myself doing a cover of Despacito just for fun, and little did I know that the video would just blow up within a week. It wasn't just the comments and the support. It wasn't just about the views. People told me that they've never seen this instrument before and that it inspired them to look up what the Erhu actually is. That video reminded me why I love this instrument. It wasn't just for me. It was a way to connect with others. And so with the success of the video, I felt that, okay, you know what, maybe I'll go check out the orchestra again. One day, I decided to return back to Canada YC Chinese Music Orchestra, and I expected to pick up where I left. But when I got there, I realized that everything had changed. You know, those kids that I used to think that I was too good for, yeah, those kids, they're all grown up now, and they have grown into incredible musicians. One in particular, Edward Dalong. If you're watching this, what's up? At the time, I was just so impressed by his skills, and I had to admit that he was way better than me. You know, at first it was tough to accept, but seeing his progress really inspired me. So I thought, you know, I may not be the best anymore, but at least there's still room for growth. That realization reignited something in me, a hunger to improve, not for anybody else, but for myself. In 2022, I decided to take the Erhu seriously again and enrolled into Canada YC Chinese Music Academy's Strings Performance Diploma program. Now, this program was a game changer. I had the opportunity to work with amazing teachers like Liu Yang from the Chinese Conservatory of Music. He made me record all of my practice sessions weekly, which forced me to reflect on my own playing and make real progress. But one teacher stood out, not just because of her incredible skills, but also because I had a crush on her. She was younger than me, but she played with a technical precision and artistry that was just on another level. You know, I found myself practicing more than ever. I think that was when I started actually practicing maybe like 4 to 6 hours a day. Not just to improve, but yeah, to impress her. You know, looking back, it's kind of funny how motivation can come in different forms, but her guidance really allowed me to push beyond my limits. As I progressed through the program, I began documenting everything that I learned or everything that I picked up. And it was also around this time that I started teaching Erhu online. And I noticed that a lot of Erhu players or a lot of students all sort of exhibit the same issues that I had experienced myself. And that's what inspired me to create the Erhu Fundamentals Mastery Course, or EFMC. Now, the EFMC combines structured fundamentals, practical tips, and long-term strategies for improvement, designed to help players grow confidently and effectively. It's everything I wish I had earlier. So looking back on my journey, here are 3 lessons that I've learned that has changed my approach towards music and life. Number 1, structure is everything. One of the biggest mistakes I made early on was practicing without a plan. I just played the same pieces over and over without really improving, you know. When I joined the diploma program, everything changed. Having a clear structure, knowing what to practice and why, kept me focused and helped me build my skills faster than ever. So if you're learning any instrument, I can't stress this enough. Follow a structured program that gives you clear steps to follow so you're always moving forward. Number 2, purposeful practice beats repetition. I used to think that practicing just meant repeating a song until it sounded decent, but that's not how real improvement happens. What changed everything for me was practicing with a purpose, breaking down difficult sections, isolating techniques, and setting specific goals for each session. You know, for example, if you're struggling with intonation, spend time focusing only on that. If you're working on speed, spend time only working on that. Slow it down and build up gradually. As long as you have a clear focus for every practice session, then I can almost guarantee that you can leave that practice session knowing that you accomplished something. And number 3, community. You know, there were times when I thought that I could do everything on my own. But the truth is, I made the most progress when I surrounded myself with other musicians or like-minded people. Having people to inspire you, challenge you, and share your journey really makes all the difference. You know, music isn't just about playing for yourself. It's about connecting and sharing stories with others. One of the most rewarding parts of my Erhu journey so far was being able to work with talented Erhu players like Elliot Tordo and building a community to support others. That's why I created Erhu World, a Discord community for Erhu players. It's a space to share sheet music, resources, and inspiration while connecting with other musicians. So if that sounds like your kind of place, then join us by clicking on the link in the description box below. Thank you for listening to my story. These lessons that I've learned, structure, purposeful practice, and community, are what brought me back to Erhu and shaped who I am today as both a musician and a teacher. So if you're ready to take your Erhu playing to the next level, check out Erhu Fundamentals Mastery Course and join Erhu World. I'd love to connect with all of you there. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.